freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing.
Oh, hey folks, dude here. Coming out again, another iteration of Dude After Dark. This will, of course, being a, kind of a somber occasion. And I'm going to have to do some zoomy type stuff. But if you look over my shoulder here, hopefully this kind of works. Let me see if I can't cheat this up. And hopefully you guys can kind of see it. But K-I-X, Kicks. Oh, man, one of my favorite bands from back in the good old days and still current and good stuff like that there. And it is literally a favorite band in the Baltimore area. Could be said that they're kind of like the Cheap Trick of Baltimore. I don't know why this thing suddenly got really dark. Hang on a second. Me play with the brightness again. A little better. A little better. Maybe a little better. Contrast got a little strange there. Well, anyway, so basically the very last show over in Merriweather Post, I caught that show. Hopefully it's not doing that reverse thing. Well, anyway, what it is, stupid thing switching around the focus. Okay. So essentially it was the very last show from the band called Kicks. The band actually had its iteration and its origination in Western Maryland. The guys pretty much are from Western Maryland or, West Virginia or places like that. And they got to be notable in the Baltimore region. And the place where they actually had a lot of really formative type of cool stuff was a place called the Seagull Inn. That became Riverwatch, and it's now going to be bought up by another larger conglomerate, club guy called Loonies. So there's a bunch of Loonies clubs around here. So they're now going to be Loonies on the Sea. So Looney Seas, which is actually on a river. But anyway, so that place was Seagull Inn, and the namesake on it was essentially just, obviously they're playing around on seagulls, what have you. But anyway, the way, shape, and form is essentially they started out, and they've had three name changes. First, they started out, I believe, as the Shoes. Then they became the Generators. And then they said, you know what? This is kind of lame. Let's try something different. So they became Kicks. And if you look them up, they've got some songs that made, national notoriety. But the whole set list that they played the other night was pretty much, good stuff. Vid guy failing his job interviewer. Failing his job interview. I don't know what you mean, our Patriot favor, but anyway. So way, shape, and form, essentially, that it was a huge thing. And obviously, it was a big thing over in Hammerjacks, if you guys know that place. And I literally lived in Hammerjacks from the late 80s into the early 90s, mid 90s, when it finally closed in 96, I think. They were a big name there. And let me put it in perspective. Kicks performed at Hammerjacks so many times, I actually got tired of seeing Kicks. It was like, oh, wow, okay, let's see what's going on tonight. Oh, Kicks is back. Oh, okay. Well, I could see them, I could not see them. Way, shape, or form, this, that, and the other thing could be, whatever it is. But the last performance that they did was at Merriweather Post Pavilion, and it was full. And I got to tell you, the weather really kind of sucked. It was raining on and off, drizzling, pissing on us all night long. And by and large, it was, not the most pleasant situation in which to, watch them performing. Mrs. Dude went online to purchase the tickets, and she went to the Ticket Bastards, also known as Ticketmaster. And she went on there, and it was like refresh, click, refresh, click, refresh, click, trying to get in there. And then she finally got in, and sound guy passed his job interview, evidently video guy, camera operator, vigilance, track tonight, LOL. Now that was me messing with the camera. Okay. So anyway, I just lost my place here. So essentially we're basically out there doing the various things, what have you, and oh no, Mrs. Dude buying the tickets. So she clicked on it, finally trying to get in the queue. By the time she got in the queue, the entire pavilion seating was gone. I mean, pretty much gone, except for like, the seriously ridiculously, nosebleeds or over in the corner, kind of sucky, really perspective thing where you're looking at the guy and it's like you're looking at the guy and he kind of looks like he's cocked at a 45-degree angle because you're so off to the side of the stage. Not cool. Not cool. And if you're going to do that, you may as well be just looking on the Jumbotrons and you go on the seating in the grass area and there's like a big Jumbotron and I think there's two smaller Jumbotrons. And I literally was wearing my hearing protection because, I got hearing loss. I got to be careful about stuff like that. So essentially the seating that we had, we could look through between the columns and like, the various infrastructure that was in the way and you could kind of see the stage. And obviously in the Jumbotron, you just had a much better view. But, you get 20 to 30,000 people shoved into a place, and it literally was pretty much that full. And it's really just a case of either you get the good tickets and you're not going from your seat, or you get the tickets and you're just kind of there. Being on the grass, we had a couple of beach chairs. We weren't sitting directly on the ground. That helped majorly. And some parts and obviously some aspects of the concert, I'm obviously standing up, going, yeah, it was good stuff. It was a good performance. The whole video probably should be posted up someplace, and it's going to be the date on Sunday. So that would be on the what was that? The 17th. And you can see from the T-shirt behind me, it's basically saying Kicks. Hang on, let me take a quick look here. It says Kicks, 1980, 2023, walking away, the final show. And so obviously, the guy's basically like backs turned, kind of like saying goodbye to the crowd from like the stage view looking out to the crowd. And they did do a good stage shot. And the thing is, the photographer, I actually know their photographer. And they were making notoriety of the persons that do the behind the scenes stuff and those members of the staff that are in production, those members of the staff that are in the management, those guys that do promotion, those guys that do the merchandising, and the chick that actually is their official camera person also does the merchandising. So she's about 5'0". She's a little dinky girl by the name of Marcy Royce, and she's about 5'0". She's a little little slip of glass, but she fits in all the cool places to get the pictures. She can slip in between like the stage lights and whatnot and get really cool pictures, like band performing and whatnot. And so they're basically running the camera through, and Steve Whiteman, who's the lead singer, is introducing everybody. This is so and so, this is blah blah blah, this is the guy, this that and the other thing, da 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 da. All the various members, and then they flash over to her, and it's like, and promotions and guess that the other thing, Marcy Royce, and she's like, her usual gear setup is she has like big format cameras, so she's got big body camera in the front, big body camera on the side, and the camera flashes over to her, and Steve Whiteman's like, and here's Marcy Royce, this, that, and the other thing, because she's kind of looking at the camera like, what, Steve? What? I'm trying to work here. she's in front of 20,000 people all saying, yay! And she's going, well, what are you doing, man? Leave me alone. I'm trying to do stuff. That's literally her personality. It was absolutely hilarious to see her on stage doing that. But as a last performance, unfortunately, it's kind of bittersweet. However, they will still always, always, always be up on YouTube. And if you wish to see them at their formative times, you can punch up Kicks the band or just KIX and Seagull Inn, and you will see a very young Steve Whiteman in about 1980 something, read like very early 80s, read like very late 70s, because that's when they were the Shoes and the Generators, doing a very, very enthusiastic, very energetic, and unbelievably energy bound version of all their songs. Guy's like 65, and he still was like all over the stage. I mean, dude really, really did a hell of a lion's share of good work there, and we shall miss them. Now in the room, Patriot Feed was saying sound guy passed his job interview. Evidently, video guy, camera operator finally got his interview on track tonight. LOL. No, that was me running the camera. Okay, there is no video guy. Sound guy basically just does his thing, and we hope nothing really blows up in the process. But sound guy being sound guy, he does what he does. You got what? You caught Kamala Harris doing something else. Oh, Patriot Fever. You're the one that got him going on this thing. So now he just slips in there whenever possible, sticks a microphone under the bed or in the room, or just catches her interactions. So, what was Vice President Kamala Harris up to this week?
Come on, squeal.
Don't want to come. Do not come.
She's gone from suck to blow.
Do not come. I don't come.
Could have fooled me. Okay. Yeah. Apparently she has secondary things going on besides the whole working her day job. I don't think she really does a whole hell of a lot. I think it's more a case of she's kind of sitting in the back room and just okay, apparently she's been a little busy. Yeah. Okay, on that note, let's go into the news. Jeez, sound guy. One of these days you're gonna get arrested for that stuff, you know, man. Scrolly. A three-letter agency that sounds distinctly like Charlie India Alpha tried to pay off analysts to bury the COVID lab leak findings. Yes. Cheating politics one lie at a time. Sorry. Whistleblower at the CIA says they tried to pay off analysts to bury the COVID lab leaks. Yeah. Told Congress that the agency offered officials on the team investigating COVID-19 origins, quote, significant monetary incentives, end quote, to change the positions for what it originated, the leak from the Wuhan lab, unable to determine the origins, Fox News Digital has learned. Yikes. Anyway, Fox News Digital obtained letters, House Coronavirus Subcommittee Chairman Board Ben Reinstrup and House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner sent to the CIA and a former official. Quote, the Select Committee on Coronavirus Pandemic and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence have received new and concerning whistleblower testimony regarding the agency's investigation into the origins of COVID-19, Weinstrup said, and Turner wrote to the CIA Director Warner Burns Tuesday. Quote, a multi-decade senior-level current agency officer has come forward to provide information on the committees regarding the agency's analysis on the origins of COVID-19, they wrote. So it could be said that somebody who basically is fairly high up is like, yeah, they're playing dirty. Yeah, they're doing something naughty. And yeah, you probably should pretty much stop them from doing these things because, well, they're doing it. The fix is in, folks. The fix is in. And any of those kind of sneaky, snarky little behind the scenes guys and any of those three-letter agencies, you will never, ever, ever get the true story, the straight poop, or the whole thing. Ever, ever, ever. Ever, 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 ever. Hang on a second here. Trying to set up my tablet to do something. Hang on a second here. Oh, that's not gonna go. I was gonna turn on my the keyboard, but the keyboard apparently is dead. Anyway, so let me just do things manually, and we'll go on from there and move out smartly. So hopefully things are working. Not that one. That one. That one. Hopefully that's working. That's not what I asked it to do. See if that one works. It's being weird about the login here. Hang on a second here. Should be online. And if it doesn't want to do it, I'll just simply go with something else. All right, it's being weird. it's being very strange. Anyway, way, shape, and form in which we find ourselves. I got to get over to the other stories. It's now come out that essentially that McCarthy, I really am not impressed with this guy at all. In any way, shape, or form, there's nothing that he's going on about that really, truly impresses me. Yeah, Patriot Fever, that sounds exactly appropriate, and I'm not taking that one out of the room, but yeah, it's on point. Supposedly coming on TruthPress.com, Kevin McCarthy, House Speaker, on Tuesday said the House Republicans have, quote, uncovered serious and credible allegations in the President Biden's conduct, end quote, that will serve the basis of an impeachment inquiry. Quote, today I'm directing our House committees to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe McCarthy announced in statements in Capitol on Tuesday. Quote, this logical next step will give our committees the full power to gather all the facts and answers for the American public. Okay, if you don't know by now, but Joe Kaka has been playing it fast and loose, potentially doing some really hinky, dirty, icky, yucky, gross, nasty, and disgusting stuff behind the scenes. Well, you're just a fool because obviously somebody is doing something really, really sketch here. Maybe that's what it is. Why it's not giving me a correct uplink. It's being weird. I'll try this tablet one more time, and then pretty much that's all I got. But it's like auto linking automatically giving me like a login information that I really don't want. I want to log in into something else. I do have multiple Facebook names, and I know it's not giving anybody any information that they don't already know. But yeah, in the room, McCarthy certainly likes dancing around political guillotines. Well, duh, he's just not that. He really is just not that. Not in the slightest. Not at all. Potentially, he's just not. he just it. Well, what can you say? He just isn't. That's about the easiest way to say. He just isn't. So anyway, we find ourselves looking at potentially just a bunch of squishy rhinocrats that really just don't do anything, or rhinokins that really truly don't do the job of which we stuff them into the office for. And once they get in the office, they're like, oh, it's so comfy and nice in here. I really don't want to do anything. Yeah, they don't want to do anything at all. Have you guys heard about something really kind of fun here? Now, obviously, you probably have heard about the New Mexico governor was doing the restrictions on gun possession, public usage therein, and of course carry, but it tended to not go up all that good. So even the point where I thought was kind of humorous was even like the anti-gunners in Congress and Senate were like, no, don't do that. Even David Hogg, Mr. Anti-Gunner himself, said, don't do that. You're going to be stepping all over their constitutional rights. There's a reason why they're saying this, folks. Excuse me 1 second here. The reason they're saying that most expressly is simply because the reason is if you do that and anybody takes you out of office because of that, you've now set a precedent. So if you're an anti-gunner and you basically make it so reprehensibly hard for somebody to do something in your state and you get pulled out of office, tossed down the road with a foot up your ass, You now are an example of what happens to other Democrats who go anti-gun too stridently. That's why they were going, no, 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 don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that at all. No, 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 don't do that. Go straight into the Yeah, you are just no. That's no.
Oh no, that's not true.
Sound guy. No, it's not tuna.
I say we take off and nuke the entire from orbit.
Sound guy. No. That's not what I was saying, okay? Not at all. No. Sound guy. No, that's not what I was saying, okay? I was not saying no. Anyway, I was saying that, it's gonna be something that kind of blows up on you. It just
No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No.
It's spicy.
All right. So anyway, she tried that stuff, and the New Mexico governor has gotten a reality check from the sheriff after unconstitutional gun regulations or restrictions on her part. Democrat New Mexico. I can't talk today. Democrat New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is facing widespread pushback from state law enforcement officials following her attempted ban on concealed and open carry permits. Bernalillo, actually, no, it's probably Bernalillo. It's probably Bernalillo. Bernalillo County Sheriff John Allen described Grisham's 30-day quote-unquote public health order as quote-unquote unconstitutional. During a press conference this week, the spy standing beside the governor during a rollout of the policy, quote, it's unconstitutional. So there's no way we can enforce that order, the sheriff said on a Monday news conference. This ban does nothing to curb gun violence. Thor's hammer. Bad guys are bad guys because they're bad guys that don't respect the law. That's why they're bad guys. However, I think when she tried this stuff and it's blown up in her face,
it was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a case of her political career is
fallen, and I can't get up.
Yeah, because right now it's just it's not going to do good. But she does have a future in yeah. Quote, we must always remember we're not only protecting the Second Amendment, but at the same time, we have a lot of violence within our community. Let me be clear. I hold my standards high, and I do not or never will hedge on what is right. Grisham issued an emergency order on Friday, suspending the right to carry guns in public across Albuquerque and the surrounding Bernalillo County for at least 30 days following the recent instances of gun violence. The governor said she expects the order to face legal challenges, but she believes she needed an accurate response to a recent gun-related death, such as an 11-year-old boy who was shot and killed outside a minor league baseball stadium earlier this week. If you shoot down the bad guy doesn't shoot down anybody else. But that's neither here nor there because, well, we all know that really it's just going to be making new laws will make everybody so much safer because we all know that's how things work in the world at large. Bad guys know if you say that there's a new law, they won't go out and do something bad. Well, if you did it right and just maybe they'd wake up and they wouldn't be in the yeah, they would stop being well, bad guys. Is there any real way to fix bad guys permanently?
I say we take off and nuke the entire bitch from orbit.
Sound guy, no, that's not what I was saying. No, sound guy, no. Anyway, Suspension is classified emergency public health order and applies to open and concealed carry in most public places, excluding police and licensed security guards. What the hell makes them better qualified than most, potentially private shooters? Do they really have that much time in the range as some guys who are like professional target guys? I don't think so. The only restrictions connected to the threshold of violent crime rates met only in Albuquerque. Ugh. Allen claims he's pressured up against public order, saying Grisham knew as a law enforcement we did not agree with the order, and as a result, it was solely her decision. Grisham fired back at Allen following his press conference, ordering the law enforcement official to stop being squeamish about enforcing the order. Quote, I don't need a lecture on constitutionality from Sheriff Allen. What I need is action, Grisham said in a statement regarding to Allen. What we need is leaders to stand up to the victims of violent crime. We need law enforcement, district attorneys, public officials, school leaders, and state agencies use every single tool at their disposal to stop this violence, period. That would be an armed public stopping the bad guys. I really want to curse here, but yeah, it's just unavoidable to say that she's just sound guy. No, that was not even close to the mark. No. You don't get a ding on that one at all. There is no ding for that. No. Sound guy. No. Sound guy. No. There is no ding on that one. You don't get the gong either, okay? No. We are having a revolt here on that one. In fairness, even the Terminator learned how to value human life. Wow. Patriot View in the rooms. What's the score of the moment? Blue states in New Mexico, Hawaii, Michigan, soon to follow. Flipped red states of Arizona, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Super ticked off. Well, I don't know. I got a Pennsylvania story that really kind of really sucks. And I cannot do it justice other than simply say what it is, but it's bad juju, dude. It's really bad juju what's going on in PA. Okay, let's see what's going on here. Maybe Mr. Tablet here will be not so snarky and wants to actually work. Maybe Mr. Tablet wants to work. I'm having a little personal battle here with Mr. Tablet. See what Mr. Tablet wants to do. Mr. Tablet's being annoying today. I knew I should have charged this thing and had it going and doing what it needed to do, but them's the breaks. That's how stuff works sometimes. That's not logging in. All right, I'm not gonna futz with this thing today. I'm done. So yeah, I think she's if anything truly does happen, she's gonna get recalled. She's gonna get booted. That's really what needs to have happen to her. And yeah. This one coming in truthpress.com, and I cannot do this one justice. This one is absolutely disgusting. Ex-CDC director says the quiet part about COVID vaccines out loud. And yeah, we are talking about the, the classic goodness of which we find ourselves dealing with. The good old,
The Chinese Communist coronavirus infection. Claw shot.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to be speaking about that. We don't have to worry about
Fact check.
There is no more fact check because we now have to be talking clearly about the
Chinese Communist coronavirus infection. The Chinese Communist coronavirus infection. Claw shot.
He clicked the wrong one. Anyway, so we're talking about the
claw shot.
Okay, so you're trying to make up for it by saying
claw shot.
Are you done?
Claw shot.
sound guy. I'm about to really take you out back and you up, okay? So stop with the yeah, take that. Anyway, truthpress.com, former Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director Dr. Robert Redfield said Monday there's an attempt by the healthcare bureaucracy to stifle talk that coronavirus vaccines may not have been a cure-all. No blanking kidding. Redfield made the comments on, quote, the story, end quote, following a court ruling that the Biden administration violated the First Amendment in the ruling, in trying to pressure social media companies to suppress countervailing COVID-19 content. The suit brought by the states of Missouri and Louisiana alleged that the Biden administration threatened public social media companies with antitrust lawsuits or legal changes that would either protect their liability or silence dissenting voices. Redfield said he was not firsthand witness to concerns over negative public discussion about vaccinations causing Americans to eschew an injection, but knew individuals who were. So, second, third hand, fourth hand, fifth hand, all the rest of this happy horse stuff. The guy knows something about it because obviously he's in the inner circle, inner sanctum, and he knows all about it, or he knows something about it, and it is bad juju. This is going to be one of those palate cleansers, but when you start hearing about good old stuff happening to President, yeah, it's happening because he's kind of brought it about and he brought it on himself. That's right, he brought it on himself. So we're going to be talking about coming in RepublicanDaily.com. Democrats terrified about the 2024 election. The numbers will tell you why. The 2024 presidential race continues to heat up. Democrats are terrified. The source of their fear and frustration is recent polls showing that former President Donald Trump is in a statistical tie with President Joe Biden. I don't think that's the case at all, folks. There's so many people that are affected right now with the economy. He's getting worse and worse numbers. They have every reason to be afraid given the numbers and Biden's apparent age issues, but it's still early in the race, and victory for either side is far from a foregone conclusion. People affected are people affected, and that's pretty much how they're affected. So they know what's going on in their lives, okay? It's not like they're just going, as the election's approaching, things might just get better, and I don't have to worry about stuff. That's not the case at all, folks. Let's start with the poll numbers. Democrats seem to realize even their politically motivated indictments and silly efforts to disqualify Trump from the ballot might not be enough to prevent Biden from being defeated in 2024. Donald Trump is polling even with President Joe Biden in likely 2024 rematch, sparking mixed feelings among Democrats 14 months from Election Day. Some are alarmed by the neck-and-neck race, while Biden campaign officials and other allies downplay the recent polls as meaningless this early in the cycle. But there's one thing Democrat strategists agree on. An insurrection scheme and a torrent of criminal charges won't be enough to stop the former president and runaway Republican primary frontrunner from returning to the White House. Quote, despite waiting trial on 91 felony counts, Donald Trump is a coin flip away from the presidency, Dan Pfeiffer, former advisor to President Barack Obama, wrote, quote, because of the Electoral College and our highly polarized politics, we should assume that every presidential election will depend on a number of voters smaller than the attendees at a Taylor Swift concert. I don't think that's the case at all. I think if you cheat the election like the last one obviously was, it's going to look sketch. A CNN poll released Thursday found that Trump leading Biden by 1 point, 47% to 46%. Okay. If you look at Biden's approval numbers right now, they are not agreeable to 46% at all. Excuse me 1 second here. Wall Street Journal survey published September 3 found them tied at 46% each. I don't believe that either. New York Times Siena College poll taken in late July found Biden and Trump tied at 43% apiece. Okay, so why did they both go up to 46%? Is it like an actuarial table now where you're simply saying all the guys that could potentially get an automatic 3% bump? It sounds fake, folks. The former president is currently polling stronger against Biden than he did at any point in 2020 when he trailed by as many as 10 points and never came within 3 points in the 538 average. Okay, maybe it could be the fact that you had all these continual Trump sucks, orange man bad, little hands, this, that, and the other stuff going on 24/7 on all the news media. Could have been that's the case entirely. I don't know. It could be worse, and it could be even more worse, and it could be even more worse than that. But anyway, which we find ourselves, the numbers that they keep quoting, they're kind of sketch. I really don't put much truck in them, and I tend to think that they're really kind of foofy. I tend to think that they're farcical, to say the least, and I don't put much truck into them. I tend to think that they're pretty fake. Okay, that's about the only way I could really possibly say it. Is I tend to think that they're just absolutely not the most demandingly or demonstratively correct numbers ever, and it could be said that there's no good reason for those things to be coming out in the way in which they are, but they are. That's the only way to say it. So anyway, which we find ourselves, we are now essentially looking at these guys trying to do revisionist history on some things, trying to make them look respectable. And we find ourselves now seeing them cooking the books in terms of Joe Kaka's popularity versus everybody else's popularity. And I tend to think it's just, well, it's not real. It's not based in reality, and it's just it's fake. Okay, that's the only way you can really say it. Is it's just no sound guy. No, it's fake. Okay, it's fake. Anyway, what? What? You want me to read that online? Really? Okay, folks, we have a new sponsor to the podcast. Sound guy. I don't know how you got this, but pumpkin spice lady stuff. Yeah, it's too bright. Pumpkin spice lady stuff. He's now gotten it as a sponsor to the channel. Ladies, make your hoo-ha all holiday like. Yeah. Yeah, make it just holiday specific. Dude, I'm not reading that copy again. Pumpkin spice. There's no good reason any woman should ever smell like that. Ever. Ever. You know what? You can sell this stuff next time, okay? I'm not doing this. I'm not selling it. Yeah, and you're probably the guy that wrote the line about make your holiday stuff all, your hoo-ha holiday like. This is the kind of crap I got to deal with all the time. He will whore us out to anybody. Patriot fever. That stuff might just keep me off Miss Patriot. Zach, that one's naughty. I like it though. Apple fritter pound cake. Yeah, it is infamously a pound cake. All right. So anyway, scrolly. My dog is now 2. He had his birthday on the 14th. So yeah, Remy is Remington Steele. Yeah, I can show you that, guys. Remington Steele is now a 2-year-old. Hang on a second here. Grab the wrong phone. He's now a 2-year-old. So let's see what we got here. Scroll. There we go. That brave countenance of our critter. Yeah, he's now a 2-year-old. And it actually took quite a while to get him to pose out for this picture. It's like that whole joke about, little kids, animals and explosions, trying to make everything happen good on camera. It's true. It really is true. Okay. Trying to make something like that happen on camera is never, ever, ever easy. Mostly because, you're working with, a dog. Okay. That's just. Okay, we gave him something. No, that's not ding. No, that's no. That was not even in good coordination, and no, no chime, no ding. Yeah, take that one right out, erase it. Anyway, so scrolly, he's now 2. As if we didn't already know, the golden child, Hunter Biden, has now been indicted on 3 firearms charges. Okay, let's put this in perspective, folks. You, me, anybody else in the room would get hung out to dry, and they would not get the sweetheart deal that he got, where they were like, okay, well, don't do any drugs, don't do anything, crazy, stay on your best behavior, and oh yeah, don't try to get any more guns, because oh yeah, you're potentially a felon now, and you were using drugs at the time, you shouldn't have gotten that was naughty. Yeah, but if you or I did that stuff, we would get hung out to dry, and they're now kicking around well, it's a first offense. Usually people get probation for something like that. No, they don't. If you're a drug abuser and you try to buy a gun and it says right in the 4473, are you a habitual alcoholic or drug user? And you say no, when you should be saying yes. Guess what? You're getting a new place in the Gray Bar Motel, if not a serious slap in the butakis, because you deserve it. Kevin Hurley, appreciate you coming by and hanging out with me tonight, dude. Oh, Patriot Fever dog probably figured out he was going to go to town. I'm not going to bring the rest of that out of the room, but that is funny. I don't even know if he likes pumpkin spice. Most, 3 out of 4 dogs, they prefer pumpkin spice hoo-ha. I don't even know. All I know is they like sticking their nose up your butts. Scroll. And I got to switch gears on this one. This is going to be a palate cleanser for me, but let's just say there's a reason why, and I'm not advertising for them, and I know they don't have the most extremely amazing reputation, but there's a reason why I have, hang on a second here, let me get back to where I was. There's a reason why I have the Southwest app on my phone. It's trying to get me to update it. No, I'm just showing off here. I know I have to update the app. Okay, I get that part, but there's a reason why I have the Southwest. It's not going to let me. There's a reason why I have the Southwest app in my phone. It's because I usually fly Southwest. Is it the best airline on the planet? No, but is it fairly just a case of I know what I'm going to get. I know what I'm going to get. I know what I'm going to get. It's not Spirit. So anyway, way shape before which we find ourselves. I will never, ever, 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 ever knowingly, willingly, or potentially haphazardly make an attempt to fly on Delta Airlines. Why? The last little perk that they're taking out of the mix. Well, coming in from truthpress.com, Delta will no longer allow customers who book basic economy tickets to use the airport lounges. Delta Airlines is changing how customers gain entry into its Sky Club and earn frequent flyer status with the Atlanta-based airline in 2025. Instead of the current unlimited visits starting February 1, 2025, American Express Platinum and Platinum Business card holders who will get 6 visits a year unless they spend $75,000 on the card in a calendar year. Delta Sky Miles Reserve and Reserve Business card holders will get 10 Sky visits a year unless they spend a minimum of $75,000 a year on, and all over their cards. Delta Sky Miles Platinum and Platinum Business American Express cards will no longer get club access unless the customer buys a club membership or as if they have the elite status with Delta that allows them to pick a club membership as a perk. The yearly memberships for the lounges is $695. Some restrictions will start as soon as January 1, 2024, with the airlines announcing that customers who book a basic economy ticket will no longer be allowed in Delta's lounges, regardless of if they carry a platinum card or other premium credit card. The news comes as the airline is struggling to handle overcrowding in popular lounges at Delta's major hubs like JFK Airport or Atlanta. Okay, let's put this in perspective. JFK, sucks. Do not fly into New York using JFK. Atlanta, ATL. I hear enough people going through that airport who say, don't. But it's a major hub, so unfortunately, sometimes you're hosed with it. But it is an unbelievably busy airport. So I can hopefully, happily miss both those airports and not give a moment's cry at an instant. Along with the lounge cutbacks, Delta is also making it increasingly more difficult for customers to qualify for status on its Sky Miles program. Passengers will no longer earn status based on the number of miles they fly with Delta, but instead will earn status based exclusively on the amount of money they spend with the airline. Yeah, so Delta Sky Miles Reserve and Reserve Business American Express card members earn one medallion qualifying doctor, or MQD. What's that sound like a McDonald's thing? For every $10 spent on a card, while the Delta Sky Miles Platinum and Platinum Business American Express card members earn one MQD for every $20 spent. The new status requirements are Silver Medallion, 6,000 MQDs, Gold Medallion, 12,000 MQDs, Platinum Medallion, 18,000 MQDs, and Diamond Medallion, 35,000 MQDs. You know what? I don't give a good MQD what these guys say. I ain't flying Delta. They can kiss my ass. Let's see. Translation. Delta wants to go broke next. I hope they get bought by somebody else. That's the only thing I can say, is because progressively they become more and more a-hole. Every time you hear about Delta, they're doing something more strictly, pervasively asshole. That's the only way to explain it. I mean, those guys they're just pricks. I'm not impressed with them in the slightest. So supposedly coming in from the other side of the aisle, the other side of things in reality, truthpress.com, the New Mexico governor removes the firearm carry ban from the emergency order. Why? Because she knows it's going to cost her ass. With twin tides of public opinion legal decisions running against her, New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has scrapped her plan to ban legal gunners from carrying firearms in Albuquerque and its surroundings. However, Lujan Grisham is still trying to create gun-free zones through her executive order. On September 8th, under the guise of a public health order, the governor issued a ban on carrying guns in Albuquerque and surrounding Bernalillo County. However, local and state officials said they would not enforce the widely denounced ban, and a court announced a temporary restraining order against its implementation. So she's basically pissing and moaning that, wow, it's so much more effective, but I'll rescind it. No, you basically got a toss back in your face and you lost. This one I think is very, very interesting. This one's coming in from patriotalerts.com as a palate cleanser talking about Donald Trump. Trump explains why he did not pardon himself before leaving office. Republican leader speaking with NBC News said some of the most trusted lawyers assured that the pardon would be legal and even preferable given the expected scrutiny of Trump's involvement in J6 riots come to fruition. However, doing so would look, quote unquote, terrible, Trump said. He said this, quote, I said the last thing I'd ever do is give myself a pardon. I could have given myself a pardon. Don't ask me about what I would do. I could have the last day. I could have had a pardon done. It would save me from all these lawyers and all these fake charges about the Biden indictments. They're all Biden indictments, Trump said. I could have pardoned myself. You know what I said? I have no interest in you ever thinking of that. I never even wanted to think about it. It's a very powerful thing for a president. What did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. So basically what he's saying here is if I'm not guilty of something, why in the world am I going to give these guys ammunition by pardoning myself? So the thing about it is anytime that you have honor and you stand up for yourself by saying you're not that guy that's doing something like the rest of the dirtbags, they go, oh, no. We got to drag you into the muck along with the rest of us because everybody does it. Martina Sasquatch, the Delta thing. Is that not an act to skirt an antitrust act? That's the only thing that makes sense. Well, if they're associated with American Express, that's not a trust. I mean, that's not a wholly owned subsidiary. American Express is its own entity. I tend to think that they basically are two drunks walking side by side, going off the pier together to the deep, dark water. But, there's going to be dumbasses that are stupid enough to keep flying Delta. I won't. If I got to go international, I'll use everybody but Delta. And I'm not a fan of United either, so I might just be looking at potentially another airline. Because if you think about it, for me to go to, let me break down the geography here real quick and dirty. I live about 22 to 23 minutes away from Baltimore Washington International Airport. It's not a true international airport. It really is more like a limited international airport. Yes, it'll go to islands, it'll go, across to some places, but there's a limitation involved, and that's simply the size of the aircraft. The biggest aircraft we possibly have going to BWI is about a 737-800 or a 737 MAX. That's the biggest aircraft we currently have. Max range on that aircraft is about 3,600 miles. Do your math, folks. That's not even Hawaii. That's going across the United States, stopping in Texas, tanking on another tank load of fuel, then flying down to Hawaii. And literally, when you're getting there, the tanks are about getting thin. Because Hawaii is 2,500 miles offshore. To get from Texas to the coastal line down to there, it's closer to 3,000 miles, if not closer to 3,200. So you're putting some serious mileage on the plane, and you're not quite dipping into the safety factor, but you're getting to the point where you're not reserves, but you're getting to the point where you better find Hawaii pretty damn soon. So anyway, looking at things as it is, they now have gotten themselves written into a corner with all this fun stuff. And if I was going to go any other airlines, I would probably just go down to Dulles. Dulles is about an hour away from my house. It's really not that much more of a trip at that point. I'm driving a half an hour. I'm driving an hour. If I'm going to go to one airline and I got to lay over to another place, does that really serve me better than simply driving another 30 minutes and going to an airline where I can get on one big plane that then takes me directly to where I'm going? I'd rather go direct, okay? I don't like a bunch of bunny hops and potentially losing my luggage and on and off the plane or all the rest of that fun stuff. Layovers basically suck most times. I mean, the most annoying one I had recently was basically went from Phoenix to Las Vegas. Well, you get off in Vegas, it's like blinking lights all over the bloody place. It's just everywhere that you look, there's one armed bandits going, feed me, give me money, feed me. Yeah. I don't know. It's just really, truly annoying. Martina Sasquatch, no, I think Delta essentially is just doing a cost-saving measure because they're looking at stuff as it is, and their profitability is probably suffering because, well, there's less people flying. The post-COVID public is not flying nearly as much. Obviously, the economy is not so great, costs a lot for a plane ticket. So you're going to use that money somewhere else where potentially you could be, doing something more efficacious rather than hopping on a plane and making Delta happy for that, 3 to 5 hours that you're currently utilizing their services. So Scrolly. This one coming in Patriot Alerts. Trump support is skyrocketing. Shock poll. A recent Reuters Ipsos poll revealed that the President Donald John Trump's popularity is surging in crucial background states. Potentially jeopardizing President Joe Biden's chance of re-election in 2024. The poll indicates the concerns over Biden's age, the economy, and crime could be influencing voters' sentiments. In a hypothetical matchup for November 2024 election, both Biden and Trump are tied, each receiving 39% of the vote, leaving a significant 20% of the voters undecided. Notice those numbers are just a little bit different because positively they phrase the questions a little bit differently. Yeah. However, Trump seems to have gained an edge in 7 states where the 2020 presidential election was most closely contested and ultimately decided. These states include Georgia, Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Nevada, and Michigan. In these pivotal states, Trump leads with 41 to Biden's 35%, with a notable 24% still undecided. Despite facing numerous federal and state criminal charges related to his attempts to overturn Biden's 2020 election win and alleged mishandling of classified documents post-presidency, Trump remains a formidable political contender. He's anticipated to spend a considerable amount of 2024 in court while simultaneously campaigning. The poll also highlighted that Biden was at risk of losing the support of independent voters, a demographic he won decisively in 2020. Concurrently, Trump holds a slight lead among independents, garnering 32% support compared to Biden's 30%. With 38% of Biden still undecided, the race appears to be neck and neck. Okay, I love when they phrase this as, oh, it's so decisive by the independents. Folks, independents, by and large, are Democrats that left the party because the party got way too left for them to tolerate. So, if you think about it, if a Democrat is getting the squeeze from their own party and they bailed out, they're a free thinker. If they're really sick of the stuff and the way things are going right now, that might potentially vote for Trump because Trump said and did the things he was going to do and followed through in those regards. You speak to most blacks and they're like, yeah, Trump actually said he was going to do these things and he did do things for us and things actually worked out pretty good. He was actually somebody that actually looked out for the black community and did things he said he was going to do. They're not forgetting that fact. And they are seeing the fact that, well, the Democrats are pretty much thrown them to the wolves, treating them like, you will vote for us no matter what because we're the Democrats and you guys suck up to us because you're our house N-words. And that's literally their phrasing of it. And they see it as they're seen as something that is going to be dependent on no matter what's done to them. They'll vote for Democrat. They'll pull the lever no matter what because they're too stupid to think for themselves. And they don't like being called stupid because these are free-thinking people that truly don't like to be screwed with and called something that they're not. So the black community, I think, is going to be very interesting in this election because the Democrats are losing them left, right, and center. This one I think is very, very interesting. There might be some internecine combat taking place in the Democrat Party. That's right, patriotjournal.com. A Democrat civil war just broke out. Biden and a sanctuary mayor are battling over a major crisis. That's right, when you send the guys to them who don't live here, who aren't from here, and they're making the place go bankrupt, potentially you got an issue. So yeah, from the post-millennial, federal officials who have argued that Adams is at fault, accusing him of not having a plan beyond simply putting people in temporary shelters. A senior DHS official told NBC News that Adams' response was inadequate. New York is a sanctuary city with a right to shelter law in place, meaning that the city must provide shelter to those who seek it. $5 million a day, folks. $5 million a day. Even at some point, New York goes, we can't afford this. Yeah. Yep. Hang on a second, folks. I got to put this one in the room. That I could not say publicly, but the guys in the room probably are chuckling right now. Let's see. So essentially, we're now having problems with that one. But I don't know if you guys heard about this. Supposedly, those guys who decided to cross swords with Ron DeSantis in Florida are now having a slightly moment. PatriotJournal.com. Disney crushed by insider report. Employees are quote-unquote freaking out over the latest desperation move. Hollywood juggernaut Walt Disney Company has been hit with setbacks in recent years. Companies lost some reputation among Americans when it came out against parental rights law in Florida. No, it flat out lied and said it's a don't say gay law when it said nothing of the sort. The company has lost billions due to failures in the box office and its struggling streaming service. It's not streaming, folks. It's a steaming pile of how do we say this, sound guy, without saying this? It's a steaming pile of I'll allow you to elaborate. It's a steaming pile of or yeah, but is there any it's a steaming, stinking pile of Star Wars. All right. Anyway, many blame the drop in the success of the company's apparent embrace of leftist politics. Disney has even been forced to lay off thousands of employees. Its CEO suggested even more dramatic changes to save money and recoup losses. Now, a new report is surfacing about a major shift, and some of the employees are fearing for the worst. From Breitbart.com, the Allen Media Group owner Byron Allen has made a $10 billion offer to Walt Disney to buy the ABC TV network, local stations, as well as ancillary FX and National Geographic cable channels, a host of reports detailed Friday. Quote, everyone is freaking the blank out. That's F Chuck. It's freaking the frank out, said one ABC staffer, bluntly told CNN about the state of affairs inside the network. It's all anyone at work is talking about. Add another. Guys are doing it to yourselves. Recently, Disney CEO Bob Iger suggested the company might sell off its TV networks. The company boss claimed the future Disney would be in its movie properties, parks, and steaming app. And that's not steaming, it's streaming, but steaming app. All these products have seen losses in recent years. So basically what he's saying is the stuff that potentially might still make him some money, sell it off. Keep the stuff that sucks. Recently, Disney CEO Bob Iger suggested the company might sell off its TV networks. The company boss claimed the future of Disney would be in its movie properties, parks, and streaming app. All these products have been seeing losses in recent years. So now the word is that Byron Allen, owner of Allen Media Group, has offered $10 billion to buy ABC and other related properties. According to a CNN report, ABC staff are panicking over the possible deal. Disney has owned ABC for decades. Should it sell the network to Allen, it could be major layoffs and other changes in the format. Disney only recently bought the Fox network and related properties. It is unclear if it will sell that network as well. Interesting. It appears Iger's focus on scaling the company down in light of recent decline, calls for Disney to return to family-friendly, politics-free content, appears to have fallen on deaf ears. In its most recent project, a live-action remake of Snow White has been heavily panned for race swap casting and other major changes to the story. Translation, it basically sucks. And the chick that plays Snow whatever, she's not Snow White. I think she's more like Snow Gray. Snow Gray, Snow Brown. She's Snow Brown. She's been running around saying how great it is, and she has this very Marxist way of discussing, like, we're trying to attain power for the governance of blah, 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 blah. That has nothing to do with your job of pretending to be somebody who's a fictional character. That's not your job, Snow Brown. With selling off large parts of the company save Disney, the sales might come off more like a desperate attempt at convincing shareholders that Disney is still profitable. It might not help in the long run. If Disney insists on advancing LG, XYZ, PDQ ideology through children's content and getting involved in state government legislature, they could see continued decline. Let me look this guy up. I mean, I think I may have heard of him in passing, but Byron Allen, I don't know the guy. He's a mogul, this, that, and the other thing. American businessman, television producer, and comedian, founder of U.S. media company Entertainment Studios, interest in television, broadcasting, production, digital media, born in Detroit, stand-up comedy. Okay, I know I've heard of this guy before. Yeah, I know I've heard of him before. Okay, well, he ain't broke. Let's just do another really stupid, easy, quick look at here. So he ain't broke, but let's just see net worth. He is worth, okay, he's worth 800 million. He apparently is probably going to get somebody to give him a good loan, and he will start cranking out tons of content. But the thing is, it's also these guys, when they have the big offers like that, a bunch of other people jump in there. This one I think is exceedingly interesting and really gonna be one of those things that's gonna burn Joe Kaka's butt until he uses his diaper. RepublicanDaily.com. A federal judge in Texas has declared DACA, D-A-C-A, a Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program created by executive order by President Obama in 2012 is illegal. Federal judge in Texas again ruled unlawful on Wednesday a program that shielded hundreds of thousands of undocumented young adults from deportation allowed them to legally work in the United States, rejecting a new rule that the Biden administration has introduced to address the court's concerns. Decision is the latest twist in a 5-year-long court saga that's left the program and its beneficiaries, known as Dreamers, hanging in the balance. While the rule is a blow to immigrants, the judge did not immediately mandate immediate end to the program. Current applicants will be able to keep and renew the protection. No new applications will be allowed. There are no material differences between the two programs, the judge wrote in his 40-page opinion, adding that a decision did not compel the government to take an immigration deportation or criminal action against any DACA residents or DACA recipient. What really should happen is if you got in here illegally, you got to go out, you got to do the process legally, go home. Oliver Anthony, the guy that basically did, the one kind of twangy, whiny protest song that the left really lost their mind over. It's not my kind of realm of or theme of music or anything along those lines, but I get where the guy's intent's coming from, and he's done it really correctly, where basically he's released his own music, and of course the streaming services are losing their minds, going, no, we were going to give you high dollars, and he's like, I'm making plenty of money. I'm making plenty. I don't need you guys to buy my product and then release my product under your own name. I can do this on my own. So essentially what happened is there was a show that was supposed to happen in Tennessee, and they were going to jam the public. And I do mean jam the public. They were going to positively stick them with ticket prices And the guy was like, you know what? No, not doing it. Not doing it. So RepublicanDaily.com, Oliver Anthony said, quote unquote, that's not acceptable. And he canceled the Tennessee show over the high ticket prices. Cotton Eye Joe's been canceled. Ultimately, it's not my fault for not being directly involved with the venues who reached out. My plate has been full, and I delegated responsibility to somebody else to help me book. I'm not pointing fingers at Cotton Eye Joe. I don't know where the miscommunication took place. I'm just upset at seeing these prices. We'll find another place in Knoxville that can do $25 tickets and a free meet and greet. I will work to get your tickets refunded again with my own budget. If they can't, this will never happen again. Thanks for your patience. I'm still learning how all this works. The Richmond and Richmond guy. Don't buy $90 Cotton Eye Joe tickets for $200 for a meet and greet. That's not acceptable. I just saw my Facebook post and lost my hit. Miscommunication, my friend booking shows and I. My shows have never cost more than $40. Ideally, no more than 25. Hell, out of the 4 shows I've currently done, 2 are currently been completely free. This will get straightened out tonight. Hold off buying tickets for now. Okay, that's the way you handle this stuff when they start gouging the public for this whole ticket thing. Yeah, actually, Patriot, yes, he is a Patriots kind of guy. It's not Snow Yellow. Anyway, he said basically you're not going to jam the public, not doing it, so step off. So if you guys maybe heard this phrase, if you ever watched the, My Son Hunter, the movie, I actually do have a copy of that floating around online. If you want to, ask for it, I got the link. It's published as an unlisted video on YouTube. You can watch that at your leisure. Hit me with the link. Hit me for the link, actually. So basically, Biden has been quoted many times as saying, nobody F chucks with a Biden. Well, you sure F chuck things up for yourself there, you dim bulb, greedy a-hole. Truthpress.com. This link's been a little weird. Latest Reuters poll on Biden impeachment is awful news for the president. Excuse me, a squig here. Republican-led impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden is now officially underway. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy originally said the floor vote would be necessary, but realized he changed his mind, citing Trumpolosi's precedent. Yeah, she said, we don't need to have a vote. It's just gonna happen. As what the inquiry is looking into, McCarthy laid out some of the most pressing questions of the part with the press on Thursday. Reporter, I can't answer that. McCarthy, you can't answer that? Do you believe that the president said when he went on conference calls? Do you believe that happened? Reporter, that's what the testimony says. McCarthy, okay, do you believe the president went to Cafe Milano, had dinner with clients of Hunter Biden, who believes he got those clients because he was selling the brand? Reporter, that's what the testimony says. McCarthy, okay, do you believe Hunter Biden when you saw the video of him driving a Porsche and then he got $143,000 to buy that Porsche the next day? Do you believe the $3 million from the Russian oligarch was transferred to the shell companies that the Bidens controlled after the dinner from Catherine Milano took place? Reporter, that's what the testimony says. So basically, he's calling the reporter out saying, you just validated your own news story, asshole. Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard about this one, but supposedly Trump is now getting some... Well, he's making some rumors, or he's now hinting at who the potential vice president pick is going to be. But it sounds like it's going to be Kristi Noem, the North Dakota governor, Kristi Noem. It's been a staunch supporter of his going to the first term. She's really, really, really conservative. I think that she'd be an absolutely excellent adjunct to have him on the ticket and her on the ticket as well. If nothing else, you really can't say, well, she's this, that, the other thing. It's like, well, she's a she. So, oh man. This one also coming in fast and heavy. All the Joe Kaka stories are coming in. He's hit with an unexpected crisis. A massive Democrat defection could cost him big in 2024. From Breitbart, the 150,000 member United Auto Workers Union could go on strike as early as Thursday, and they could not reach an agreement with Detroit's big 3 automakers over the contracts, which likely expire this week. Okay, they're being way greedy. They're asking for way too much. They're asking for a major hour per week reduction. People being transitioning to EVs. You build the cars, they're out the door. It's not like you're building a gas car. Different tech, completely different type of stuff. Things get really different when you start building EVs versus like internal combustion cars. it's different stuff. Quote, look, it's actually the fault of Joe Kaka because one of the things that driving the strike is the fact that people's wages have deteriorated so much, Carney said. Carney is the, who is Carney? I guess he's like one of the higher ups. Of course, the users want to be paid more because they've seen their buying power go down. Their cost of living is skyrocketed, so of course they need to make more money. Yeah, but the slight problem is every time the UAWs lock down the automakers and ask for a strike, they've lost market share to other places that are not union. Yes. This one getting very, very interesting. Also smacking Joe Cock up, the Patakis. A third lawmaker leaves the Democrat Party, leaving them hardcore. Switches to Republican. Democrats dealt another blow this week. This one was Republican Daily. Democrats dealt another blow this week. Another state lawmaker announced he's leaving the party. Louisiana State Representative Jeremy Lacombe announced he's left the Democrat Party, will be registering as a Republican. Although the reason for Lacombe's switch is not immediately clear, he now has a second Louisiana Democrat less than a month to do so, and the third in the country after a state lawmaker in North Carolina did the same. Because another Democrat Representative Francis Thomas Adeli switched to the GOP, Republicans recently gained a supermajority in the state house, a necessary threshold for overriding vetoes and passing tax measures. Louisiana might go red. Tricia Cottham, a state representative from North Carolina, did the same earlier this month. Lacombe defeated Republicans with 68% of the vote in a special election and 62% of the vote in a general election to win his House seat in 2019. Who says that he isn't a blue dog Democrat that said, you know what? I can't deal with this party being as far left and deal with the XYZ PDQ as much as they have. It's not like I'm leaving the party's left me. Here's the Reagan line. Scrolly. I do not trust this guy, and I'm gonna keep this real short here. And you are enabling the a-holes who seek to further that. You rhino a-hole POS, Mike Pence. China is the greatest economic and strategic threat facing the U.S. Yeah, and you're enabling the rhinos who really, truly suck up to them. No problem at all. This one I find very, very distinctly disturbing, disgusting, and potentially something that, well, I would fix it most heartily by removing my money. Gateway Pundit, Australia's fifth largest bank announces digital-only transaction and will phase out cash, check, and phone payments in all 80 branches starting next year. Australia's fifth largest bank, Macquarie Bank, has announced transition to digital-only transactions starting from January 2024. The bank will be phasing out all cash, check, and phone payments in its 80 branches. By November 2024, on all branch cash transactions will be completely discontinued. Well, guess what's going to happen if I had a Macquarie account? First thing is, I'd be pulling out all my money. You guys would not get a dime. Let's see. This one coming in. This one also from RepublicanDaily.com. This I find unbelievably hilarious. MSNBC host actually said this live on NBC. She warned that the S-hit is about to hit the fan over the Trump case. MSNBC host Michelle Wallace began the second hour of the show on Friday discussing a limited gag order special counsel Jack Smith is seeking against former President Donald Trump that included a dire warning for the country. As the segment opened, Wallace read from a court filing that Smith seeks a narrow gag order against Trump, preventing him from continuing to discuss or criticize what he believes are highly political prosecutions as Americans continue to believe the Biden administration and Democrats have weaponized the justice system. Wallace then told her audience that she is going to say the thing that people privately say all the time and not on TV very often. Something very bad is going to happen, like S-hits going to hit the fan in this country. Fox News had to veer away from the lunatics spewing hatred and death threats for Democrat officials in New York because of the migrant caucus. Okay, they're not migrants, you stupid C-nut. Switch a couple letters on that one. Noting a live shot a rival network aired on Friday showing angry New Yorkers protesting the massive influx of illegal immigrants into the city. Okay, you guys, I got to say this most clearly and empathetically. I'm sorry, but aren't you DNC guys the party of disarray and confusion, then freak out when S-hit gets real? So illustrative. Speaking of something I think is beyond, well, I thought you guys in the Democratic Party love leaking stuff. Well, RepublicanDaily.com. Supposedly, Hunter Biden is now suing the IRS over whistleblower leaks. Hunter Biden sued the IRS on Monday over alleged violations of his privacy when agents went to Congress with details of the agency's investigation into Biden's taxes. Biden's under pressure from federal investigators and prosecutors and adopted an adversarial stance since the plea deal fell apart in July. Okay, I'm not reading any more about this asshole. You're a dope-smoking idiot that can't keep your pecker in your pants. You use your dad's position. You use your dad's level of government adversarial, exposure to get what you wanted. And you played the game on both sides of the fence with communists and everybody else on that side of the fence. I mean, just step off, man. The Ukrainians that you were dealing with were a bunch of corrupt third-party, corrupt party, almost party officials. It's disgusting what he did to basically raise funds. I'm gonna break off on this one, folks. Eco Cape Ring, as always, you know what, you love it. You guys hung out with me today on a Tuesday. I truly appreciate your kind attentions. Good stuff like that there. And look up Kicks. There's no other way to say it except for saying what it is, but great tunes, awesome stuff. They're the dirty boys from the underground, and much beloved in Baltimore. Great stuff. Gonna miss you guys performing live, but enjoy your retirement. You did us an amazing service for 45 years. Thank you so much, Kicks, and I will catch you guys later. Have a good week, good stuff like that there. I think I do have a video coming up telling you some cool charging operations to do with your daily drivers. All right, folks, I'm going to break on this one. Have a good one. I will see you guys next week. Good stuff like that there, and I will see you then. Catch you guys later, and be safe. See ya. Bitters!